The most important thing is to go to practice every day and compete, and then try to take your practice to the game with you. And then you don't worry about the fact of what number you are, because whether we win or lose, in my heart and mind, you'll always be number one anyway. So let's just go out and prove to the rest of the country we've got a very good basketball program.
In 2 of their 3 wins, Richardson's running Razorbacks have scored more than 100 points.
His Hogs have dominated, averaging 40-point wins. It's been blowout city. Just ask Missouri, where they pounded them.
In those lopsided wins, 15 players have suited up, and all 15 played.
Hey, Brad, they're using everybody. 10 guys are averaging double figures in minutes played.
They're the Arkansas Razorbacks, and they are number 1 in the country.
Hey, Nolan has them going hot wild in Fayetteville, but they are in Memphis tonight, baby, on ESPN.
And they'll be in the Tigers' tomb as the pyramid is packed to the point in Memphis, Tennessee. For the number 1 team in the country, it's border war time between the Razorbacks and the Memphis State Tigers. And hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler with Dick Vitale. Number 1 in the country for Arkansas. That has been a very heavy jersey to wear. Just ask North Carolina and Kentucky. But Nolan Richardson's team's there now, Dick, and they do it with tremendous depth.
When you talk about their team, Brad, unbelievable depth, as you mentioned. They rotate so many people on the perimeter. Great pressure defense. Inside, they got great size. But the 2 key guys, when you talk about this basketball team, Corliss Williamson, a power guy on the baseline, and certainly Scotty Thurman, who could knock down the perimeter J. 2 super Souths.
Well, it's fantastic freshmen for Memphis State, that's for sure, as you'll see plenty of action from 4 of them. 1 a starter, Cedric Henderson, their leading scorer. Deuce Ford also will start. Johnny Miller will see a lot of time, and in the backcourt is little Chris Garner. 4 great ones that are youngsters, but they've got a sophomore of their own, Dick.
I'll tell you, you talk about a super South. David Vaughn, unbelievable. He had 49 points in 2 games against Arkansas as a freshman. Beat them at the NCAA tournament with a jumper at the end of the game. He's multi-dimensional, a baseline beauty. He's flat out a superstar. He's a BTP'er, and this place is really rocking, baby.
Memphis State ready for number 1 Arkansas. How do you get ready for number 1? Let's go inside the Tigers locker room and find out.
As Coach was saying, one thing that concerned me, you don't want them to play what with the ball? Volleyball. They're able to throw it up there and bang, bang the board, bang, bang, and shoot it till they make it. Then we got a what? We got a problem. But as I've stated each and every night, the number 1 thing for us is to go out and do is play what? Defense. Now I've heard so much talk about their defense. Now it's time for us is to show people that we can play good what? Defense.
The pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee is packed to the rafters tonight as we get set for number 1 Arkansas against the Tigers of Memphis State. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the Arkansas Razorbacks, Corey Beck played his high school ball here in Memphis. Most consider him the 2nd best player to Anthony Hardaway in those days. He joins McDaniel, Stewart, Thurman, and Corliss Williamson for Nolan Richardson for the first time with a number 1 team in the country in his 9th season in Fayetteville. The home team, Memphis State Tigers. Cedric Henderson, one of those great freshmen Dick and I talked about. He is their leading scorer through 2 games, 22 a ball game, with David Vaughn, Gerald Horn, Deuce Ford, and Marcus Nolan at the point. For Larry Finch, who of course was a great player here back in the early 70s and now in his 8th season as a head man at Memphis State, with 147 wins coming into this one, and maybe none bigger in quite a while than playing a number 1 team. They have never played a number 1 on the home floor in Memphis. The Razorbacks are 3-0. They've beaten Murray State, Missouri, and Northwestern Louisiana State. Memphis State coming off a win over Tennessee, 2-0 in front of a packed house. Don Rutledge, Gary Markham, and Leroy Richardson are referees, and we're ready for quite a rivalry. Memphis State and Arkansas.
I'll tell you one thing, Brad. You talk about Arkansas, so explosive. They haven't just beaten people in their first 3 wins. They've been absolutely putting a blitz on people.
Number 1 Arkansas and Memphis State set to have at it. And David Vaughn and Corliss Williamson have us underway.
Force 28 turnovers, and that's how they do it, with a lot of pressure on a basketball.
Stewart outside, can't get it. Scotty Thurman will chase down the rebound. So Arkansas, forcing 28 turnovers a game, has already forced 1 in this ball game. Nolan dishes, and a charging foul on Marcus Nolan.
Marcus Nolan a little bit out of control right there. It will not be long before we see Chris Garner. He's a blur. He's unbelievably quick. A little guard, about 5'10". I'll guarantee you we'll see him early in this game at the point guard position for Memphis State.
Memphis State will push a little bit of pressure on Arkansas themselves. Leading scorer is Cedric Henderson, as we mentioned.
Diaper dandies all over the place. Garner leads him in steals. Johnny Miller, top scorer off the bench, could shoot the rock from out of Jackson, Mississippi.
Everybody's been talking about Garner and his quickness.
He's superb. He's got great quickness. He was absolutely great against Tennessee when it beat Tennessee.
And 7 steals in that game. No score, a minute in from Memphis.
Both clubs playing man-to-man defense.
Thurman lost the handle out of bounds.
I really like Scotty Thurman. Last year he was one of the 5 best freshmen in America at the end of the year. So productive. He can play on the wing. He can play inside.
McDaniel and Beck with that backcourt pressure from Arkansas.
Look at that pressure on a basketball. Constantly right up in your face.
Vaughn touches it for the first time and drew a foul.
David Vaughn had that serious knee injury last year. In fact, it happened against Arkansas, and they were beating Arkansas at the time, down at Arkansas, and then he had that serious knee ligament problem, and unbelievable in the way he's recovered. They say his rehabilitation's been unreal.
Doesn't even wear a brace either. And he goes to the free throw line. Vaughn is 6'9", sophomore out of Nashville.
Good-looking young guy. His dad was quite a player. Went to Oral Roberts and then went to the ABA. No one had a shot to recruit this guy, Brad. It was over from day one.
Yeah, when your uncle's a coach.
Yeah, his uncle's on the sideline, Larry Finch.
So Vaughn with the first point of the ball game.
What makes him so special, he can play any one of 3 positions on the baseline. He can play in the middle, he can play on the wing, he can play the power forward slot.
And he shows he can hit the free throws. 2-0.
Very similar style defensively, Memphis State. Man-to-man, nothing fancy, come right up in your face.
Curtis Williamson. McDaniel. His jumper rattles out and Vaughn the rebound.
Nice penetration by McDaniel.
And all the way is Nolan.
Marcus Nolan goes the length of the court. Here comes the confetti.
4-0 early, Memphis State. Stewart, nice drive, too hard. Deuce Ford the rebound. It's a 4-on-2 Memphis State. And Nolan's going to finish another one.
Memphis State in transition. Unreal. Getting the ball out quickly. The quick score. Filling the lane. They needed that early start.
Williamson, nice hook pass underneath. And Beck scoops it over. Stewart still can't find it. He's missed 3 shots. And it'll be Memphis State ball.
I got to believe he's a little anxious. He's from right here at Memphis. He has 12 people he told me he left tickets for. Corey Beck's from the same, they went to the same high school, Fairleigh High School in Memphis.
Foul on McDaniel in the backcourt with a little too much pressure.
In fact, Nolan Richardson was so concerned about the guys being from this area, he didn't bring them in the night before the game. He figured they'd all be bothered with ticket requests, people calling the hotel. Look at this right now, Arkansas 0 for 5. They were also down 9 the other day, and before you turned it on, they were up by like 20.
Yeah, that's right.
Against Northwestern Louisiana.
When you get them down, you can't let them breathe, or they'll come flying back. They always do at some point in the game. But down 6-0 early here to Memphis State.
They were down 14 at the half against Memphis State last year.
Nolan with some trouble, got it away to Ford.
There's the man-to-man pressure defense. Play the typical ball denial. They like to trap if you pick up your dribble.
Too hard on the baseline from Horn, but Vaughn takes it up and scores.
Nice touch, good offensive rebound by David Vaughn. Showing you why he's such a special player. He said, I'm not intimidated, I'm not on. I played with these guys all summer.
8-zip Tigers. And Thurman pushed by Henderson as he started to make his move.
You play against the #1 team in the nation. Really important that you come out psychologically and you take command early to get that confidence going.
Williamson, nice position, but he walked with it.
Yeah, he picked up his foot. He's in really a lot better shape right now than he was last year. He had a stress fracture in his foot, put on a little bit of weight, came back, played the last 13 games, but he's really in great shape right now.
And Memphis State with a violation back there on the baseline, so they give it right back to the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Once the official hands you the basketball, you can't walk on that baseline. You got to treat it as if the ball's in play.
Thurman, tough shot over Henderson. Nice defense. Williamson underneath.
Great
Finally, the streak snapped.
Great baseline, little jump hook by Williamson. Gatorade Player of the Year when he came out of high school.
Ford almost came up with a steal. All alone, McDaniel for three, and he buried it.
Peck makes that one extra pass, gets it over to his running mate. Nobody rotated back. Look, back here sleeping.
Horn with a jam.
Gerald Horn sneaks out in transition. Lack of communication right there by Arkansas in defensive transition.
Stewart can shoot outside and shows it there.
He's so mobile, he can play anywhere on that baseline as well. Lost some weight. Went to South Plains Junior College for 1 year, then transferred over to Arkansas along with Beck.
Ford pushed by Stewart as they got in the lane. And Stewart will pick up his first foul. 13th foul on Arkansas.
So much mobility, a guy like Stewart. You look at that body, he and Williamson, they have mobility. They're very agile.
10-7, Tigers in front as they started off on an 8-0 run to begin the ballgame. Stewart almost came up with a steal.
Every pass is contested. That's the philosophy. 40 minutes of hell. That's the theory and the philosophy of Nolan Richardson. He really likes this team. He thinks it's the deepest team he's had. He's had some great teams. 1990 to go to the Final Four.
Nolan pulls up with the left hand. He's off to a hot start. He's got 6.
He's playing well. I think maybe he got a message from Gardner. Gardner got some PT, some playing time. He said, hey, I better play well out of the gate.
Williamson, a little too strong, got his own board, and in close, he's tough.
That's a big-time play. What a tremendous offensive rebound. He's got that great knack of attacking the glass. They like to run and jump a lot in the backcourt. They take a lot of what we call wild switching. Good pass.
Vaughn slams it home.
They made the extra pass. Good ball movement. Against the trapping defense, if you can rotate the basketball away from the trap, you'll get some open shots.
Both teams hustling on defense, and 15-20 remains first half with the Tigers by 5. 14-9 Memphis State. The big run early, but Arkansas right back in it, Dick.
Well, here's their leading rebounder, Corliss Williamson. He's going to get his own rebound. He steps in. No one blocks him out. Does the little head fake. Makes like a Charles Barkley move. I love his body. Super strong, great attitude, and mentally tough. Oh, now we're going to watch Vaughn get free. Nice little dish. They make the extra pass against the trap, and David Vaughn with a little slam jam bam.
Vaughn and Marcus Nolan each with 6 for Memphis State, so they have 12 of the 14 points.
Nolan went to Hamilton High School where they produced a guy by the name of Todd Day, who was a big star for Arkansas. Broke all the hearts of the Memphis people leaving town.
Steal by Horn ahead to Nolan. Nolan has really started strong, but he let that one get away.
They want him to be the distributor. They're looking for him to dish the rock to find the open man.
Beck kicks it out. Crawford, who just checked in. Too strong.
Last year, Crawford had 18 points off the bench against Memphis State. Corey Beck with that good little dribble penetration. And they're playing for some bragging rights on the playgrounds as well.
That's right. Ford way downtown. Missed it. Battle for the rebound. Vaughn was on the baseline. And it'll be Arkansas ball, trailing 14-9.
There's a look at Larry Finch. Played on that great team at Memphis State under Gene Bartow. Went to the final game of the NCAA tournament. Got beat by Bill Walton in 1973. Walton went 21 for 22.
You were burning on Coach Finch about that. He said, hey, if I was a foot taller, maybe I could have done something about it.
I mean, how could Walton miss a shot? How could he play so poorly?
Williamson. Horn is strong on the boards here early.
They're looking for rebounding and defense out of Horn on the interior. Arkansas going to a half-court trapping defense.
Vaughn, nice dish to Ford. But it comes clear to Crawford, and he's fouled by Nolan.
Ford should have made the one extra pass when he caught the ball in the gut of the defense. He should have looked to the right, and he could have dumped it off the horn for an open layup. Ford is an interesting story. They call him Deuce Ford after his dad. Look at the traps right here. Got to bring the ball into the middle of the defense. Now he's got a guy on the wing, so he's going to go up and shoot it, but if he dumps it right to his right, he had an open layup.
Nolan gets a standing ovation as he sits, and the guy that Dick and I talked about, Garner, has checked in at the point.
I had so many fans come up to me today and say, hey, Chris Garner's going to really blow by Corey Beck.
Well, Corey Beck just blew by everybody and made it a three-point game. 14-11.
Here's the little guy with superb quickness to take him into a trap.
Nice no-look pass to Henderson, and now up to Vaughn, and he got popped by Stewart on the drive.
Arkansas does a multitude of things defensively. They rotate out of their traps. They change the traps. They keep you out of your rhythm constantly.
Foul on Beck. Not on Stewart. Both were there. Beck got the hand in.
Beck played for Deuce Ford's dad over at Fairleigh High School. In fact, 3 guys on the Arkansas team. Elmo Martin, who's on the bench, along with Corey Beck, and along with Dwight Stewart. Stewart also from out of Fairleigh High School.
What a program Sylvester Ford Sr. has over there at Fairleigh.
They thought maybe they'd get Deuce Ford to join him as well, but he decided to stay home.
Robinson comes in, Stewart out, so Darnell Robinson, the tank, the highly talented freshman, the big man, comes in. Also checking in, Alex Dillard, and watch out for him, number 3.
16 points. You ready for this? In 2.5 minutes. That's unbelievable. He put 16 points on the board, Dillard. He has got legitimate NBA three-point range.
Vaughn, second free throw goes.
He put a show on for you and I today at practice. I couldn't believe his range.
He really puts it up from deep.
They call him open. Anytime he touches the basketball, he is open. They want him to shoot it.
15-11.
Here's the little guy. As soon as he crosses that line, he's within his range, number 3.
Garner will pick him up. Let's see if he puts it up the first time he touches it. He won't get a chance. Robinson's hook shot doesn't go.
The Tank's got some really solid skills for a big player.
Arkansas ball on the jump ball.
He just has to get adjusted to playing at the major college level, because at a high school level, he didn't play against this kind of competition.
Razorbacks with a possession arrow, trailing 15-11. 13:28 to go, first half. Scotty Thurman playing catch with Robinson. Goes up strong, got his own board. Still can't get it. 0 for 3. And here comes Garner.
Look at the quickness. Little shake and bake. Look at a little shake and bake.
Great move to the hoop, but he missed in close. Vaughn drew a foul.
Really had a walking violation right there. I don't blame Corliss Williamson. He's making like the official. Look at this little shake and bake. Now watch him change the direction. He'll change from right to left. Little shake. Now he goes to the goal, puts it to the left hand. Doesn't get it on the glass. If he gets it on the glass, he'd have himself a deuce.
13:05 to go in the half. Nolan Richardson's Razorbacks have trailed from the outset. This is Simmons now. In to play down low. Johnny Miller, another freshman.
He can shoot the ball, Johnny Miller.
Just proved it right there.
They like his shooting ability out of Jackson, Mississippi. Produced a few players down here. Othella Harrington, think of Ronnie Henderson now at LSU. And Chris Jackson now starring in the NBA.
17-11, 6-point lead. Here comes Dillard, got it.
Does he waste any time? Just on cue. Averaged about 30 points a game in junior college in Birmingham, Alabama.
He was open, and open hit the 3. First 3 of the ball game for him.
They need that threat from the perimeter. Stretch out the defense. See, Gardner right now, I'd play often. I'd play often and let him prove he can shoot the ball from deep.
And if you play often, it'll give you a little breathing room trying to play defense out of it.
Exactly. That's really not their style. Their style's to attack. Williamson is the leader on that floor, and a baseline Corey Beck on a perimeter.
Garner had it partially blocked. Picked up by Simmons for an easy one.
Simmons out of junior college. They're hoping to get some solid minutes inside, rotating Simmons and Horn.
Robinson made a nice catch on that length of the court pass and then was fouled by Simmons.
Robinson's going to be a big-time player, Brad. Watching Robinson and Lee Wilson today at practice, very impressive. You talk about two guys that really just have to get a feel for the game. And I'll tell you how their program has arrived. It's arrived to the point now, like North Carolina, that they can bring in a freshman like a Robinson and make him wait and develop as opposed to having to throw him into the fire as a starter.
Lee Wilson's going to check in, and Williamson will get his first rest of the night.
Wilson, out of all their big people, is a true low-post player. Robinson is a power forward. He can play out on a baseline.
So both 6'11" freshmen in there at the same time as Robinson gets a free throw. Boxing special, Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield. Friday night, 10:30. Bowe defending his heavyweight championship against Evander. And one of boxing's wildest nights and some of the most memorable moments, I think, since Ali's and Frazier's days. Great fight. See it Friday night. Right now, we got a pretty good basketball game with the Tigers up by 3. Coming up tomorrow night, we got more college hoops for you. Getting underway at 7:30. Boston College taking on 13th ranked Syracuse. And then it's Arizona and Utah at midnight. David Stoudemire and company. Lute Olson takes his Wildcats to Utah to battle the Utes. That's midnight tomorrow night here on ESPN. Here it's Memphis State. 11:50 to go first half. And they have led throughout. 19-16 up 3 and the #1 team in the country. And Arkansas has really been cold. And Memphis State with some shots in close at 62% so far from the field.
They've done a great job attacking the pressure defense, getting that good inside shot.
A walk by Simmons, 4th turnover against Memphis State.
Got to get up right in this guy's face. I mean, he'll let it fly. There it
goes. Battling for his own rebound. Loose ball and a big pile up. This possession arrow will go the other way. It'll be Memphis State ball. As Wilson was hustling on the floor for it.
Don Rutledge, one of the premier officials in the game.
Little problem for Michael Simmons with the goggles. He's looking for pieces or lenses, one of the two.
They're hoping to get some positive minutes out of Simmons. If he rotates inside with Horn in that lane, they got 10 fouls to give the two big players.
Simmons has got it all straightened out. He'll strap them back on and we'll be set to go. 11:22 to go first half. No trouble with the pressure. Garner kicks it over to Miller for 3. Got it.
That's the guy they want to shoot the ball. He really squares his body well. Garner created that opportunity.
Whoa, look out for the leg. That was a split, I hope more than a knee. And he is up in a hurry, and boy, is that good to see.
I tell you, everybody got scared for a moment. Last year he had that partial tear of his anterior cruciate ligament, lost the entire year.
Last year on a breakaway, his knee blew out, and here playing defense, you started to worry if that was it, but he just slipped. Remember, there was a pile up there just a couple of moments ago, and the ball boys tried to towel it up, but David Vaughn does the splits and comes up all right. Wilson finally found the handle, and boy, he knew what to do with it then.
That diaper dandy just closed it out from out of Waco, Texas. You know, Wilson and Robinson, interesting story, didn't visit any other colleges.
Right. Didn't even take a visit except to Fayetteville. Vaughn, three-pointer.
That's what makes Vaughn so special, that he can step out and he can knock down that trifecta.
Scotty Thurman has yet to score and just lost the handle. And this is Garner all alone.
Nice play. I'll tell you, Memphis State is playing with a lot. Look at his steal. What a steal. Great dish. What a play. What a play by Gardner.
At its Memphis State's pressure that's rattling number one, and it's timeout Arkansas.
We got a TO, baby.
They've matched their biggest lead midway through the first half. Memphis State by 8. Chris Garner, we talked about his quickness, Dick, and it is paying off here in the first half.
Oh, he made a great play in terms of taking the ball to the goal, but the super play is right after the score. Watch 0-0. Look at him like a defensive back. Look at that great catch. And now he's going to explode. A little 2-on-1. He makes the perfect execution, dumps off that little bounce pass, and it's finalized, scored by his running mate, Johnny Miller.
Midway through the first half, 26-18.
Memphis State's really been impressive defensively.
And a pile up in the lane, and the offensive foul will be on Williamson. That'll be his second.
Justin Wimmer stepped in and took that charge. Closed off that driving angle.
The Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, the #1 team in the country, has been outplayed to this point by Memphis State's Tigers, who went out to an 8-0 run to begin the ball game. And they again have an 8-point lead after a couple of steals. Nolan Richardson's #1 team trailing 26-18. Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale along with you, as #1 is having a little bit of trouble.
I'll tell you, Brad, they've done a great job attacking the pressure defense of Arkansas. We know about their depth and their quickness.
Miller outside. This three won't go. Remots with a rebound.
And Arkansas is so explosive, and they rotate so many people on the floor that can play.
They've got an entirely different lineup in there now. Beck spins and leaves it for Williamson, who's got 2 fouls here early. Williamson with a nice foul.
He's really a bear on the offensive boards. Beck went inside, posted, tried to take the little guy, Gardner, down inside.
That cuts the Memphis State lead to 6.
They went into a zone defense out of came out of their man-to-man pressure.
Miller, a guy that maybe can shoot him out of that zone. They'll try it from the other side. Air ball put up there by Wimmer.
Wimmer's supposedly a three-point shooter as well on one wing and Miller on the other. Arkansas trying to get into a trap out of that zone.
9 minutes, 3 seconds, first half.
Gotta like the young kids from Memphis State. They're not intimidated when you talk about their diaper dandies. 4 outstanding freshmen.
2 of them started tonight. Neither one's in there right now.
This little guy can handle the rock. He's Mr. Showtime with the basketball.
Marcus Nolan started at the point, and now Garner, who's in there, who's Dick is talking about, has taken the spot, and he has lightning quickness. Nice defense by Arkansas. They're known for that trapping defense.
You don't want to bring the basketball on that baseline corner. That's a trapping area. Look at Larry Fitch making like an official. He said, come on now, blow that whistle. This is our home court. This is the Tomb of Doom.
The Tomb of Doom has never hosted the #1 team in the country until tonight.
Memphis State has played 3 #1 teams. They're 0-3 all on the road. They're trying to get you in a trapping area. That's why we want to bring it to the post and to the opposite wing.
Wimmer's going to think about it again. Leans in. Simmons, nice dish on the rebound. And now Garner will reset it and put it up himself. 3 bricks by Memphis State. They had the opportunities. Here comes Arkansas. McDaniel hammered by Garner. He's going to go over and help him up.
They got so many athletes they can rotate in. And we talk about athletes, we're talking about great north-south quickness, good lateral quickness. I mean, whether it's a Crawford or a McDaniel, they really can fly to the basket. Look at Connecticut, really impressive beating on Connecticut beat Seton Hall tonight.
Wisconsin over Wisconsin, Green Bay. Here it's Memphis State. They have led from the beginning, and they're still up by 6 with 8:01 to go in the first half. Over 20,000 in the Pyramid tonight.
What makes this so special, many of these kids play against each other in the Memphis Summer League, where they pack in 6,000 fans in a facility that can hold 5,000. For example, you look at Arkansas, we talked about it, you and I. They got 3 guys from Fairleigh High School out of Memphis, Corey Beck and Stewart and Elmer Martin, coached by Deuce Ford. His son is playing for Memphis State. 4 players from Fairleigh High School on the floor.
So Arkansas has cut it to 4.
They're not going to go away. They're too talented. They're multi-dimensional. They rotate so many people that have ability. Taking you to a trap right now.
Memphis State, after being red hot early, has only hit 1 of its last 8 shots. Simmons with a left hand. 1 of their last 9. And here come the Razorbacks. Remots will pull up.
Remots can shoot the basketball from out of Croatia. He can shoot that basketball.
And he ran right into Wimmer, who picks up the foul.
Memphis State's got to work a little bit better getting the ball in the hands of their #1 option, Vaughn. Too many guys, the 4th and 5th guys in their offense are shooting the basketball.
Wimmer goes out. So it's Simmons, Vaughn, who's in there. Deuce Ford, Leon Mitchell, and Chris Garner from Memphis State. Stewart feeds into Williamson. And he backed in. That's going to be 3.
That's 3 on him.
Well, some of that depth's going to have to come to play for Nolan Richardson because that's 3 on his main man.
That's a big loss. I was talking to Nolan today. I said, late in the game, if you're in a 1-point game, who are the guys you want on the floor? You got like 12 outstanding players. He said, you better believe I want Thurman and Williamson out there.
Brad Dunn, one of his assistant coaches, just told Nolan Richardson, Coach, he's got 3. And I would imagine we're going to see somebody at the scorer's table pretty soon, although he's going to stay with what's out there, apparently. McDaniel, nice crossover dribble, but Garner stripped it away.
Around his back, little showtime. He is so quick with the basketball.
He's almost too quick for his own good sometimes.
He reminds me of his quickness of Pointer Williams down at Tulane.
Double team on Vaughn. He tried to get it inside and did to Simmons, who scored.
Nice little jump shot by Simmons. Simmons has been very active at 6'10". He's an active player inside. Keeps the ball alive.
Garner almost had another swipe. Williamson's got to watch out with his moves. That hook shot, there was never a doubt.
He's a man inside. He's got the great jump hook. Had an outstanding summer. Played on the USA under 22 and under team that won the gold medal in Argentina under Mike Jarvis.
Vaughn lost the 5th turnover. Williamson down low. And he drew a foul.
Williamson's such a good athlete. He's got great hands, super strong. Came out of the freshman class last year with the great players Jason Kidd, Othella, Harrington. But his teammate, Scotty Thurman, really came to the front at the end of the year.
Willard checks back in. Darrell Horn in for Memphis State. And at the free throw line, Corliss Williamson, the 6'7" sophomore out of Russellville, Arkansas. At the time, coming out of high school, considered probably the best high school prospect ever to come out of that state. That's some pretty big shoes to fill, and he's filled them pretty well.
He signed early, Brad. There was no doubt he was going to Arkansas. And then he had that stress fracture last year, missed a bunch of games, played the last 13, put on a little bit of weight, but he really has himself in great shape now.
Ford the rebound from Memphis State. Williamson missed a couple from the line. That could have closed it to 2 with 6:05 to go in the half.
Arkansas wanted Ford very badly from out of Fairleigh High School, number 32. His nickname, the Deuce.
The Deuce.
Ford.
Instead of Junior, he just gets Deuce, named after his dad.
Had an outstanding coach here in the city of Memphis at Fairleigh High School.
Garner finds himself with Beck draped all over him. Tried a little hook pass.
A little bit out of control against the trapping defense. Got to get a little bit more ball movement. Too much dribble against the traps. This guy can handle the ball when he played. Played in the ABA. Larry Finch took over this program from Dana Kirk when they had all that controversy.
Well, the foul will be on Horn.
Nolan Richardson's one of the few coaches that comes in his city and recruits. In terms of everybody else, stays away. I mean, you look at here. Hey, Larry said, I don't mind. He can come in after I get what I want. He can get the leftovers.
You and I were talking about it today. Is there another single city in this whole part of the country, maybe in all of the country, where you can get as many great basketball players as you can in Memphis?
I think Memphis per capita produces more high school players than any city in the United States.
Williamson finds the range finally from the free throw line.
I know they got a fan watching tonight. Penny is watching. Anthony Hardaway. What a shot he hit last night to beat the Pistons in a trifecta. I think he'll be Rookie of the Year in the NBA. I really do.
Big comeback last night against Detroit, down 17, and Penny Hardaway was plastered all over the front of the Memphis sports pages today as a local hero who buried that shot last night. It is 28-26. This is as close as we've been since the opening minute of the ball game.
This defense has really bothered. This little half-court trap has bothered Memphis State. They were much more effective against the man-to-man pressure defense because of the penetration of this little guy at Nolan.
Vaughn outside. And it's going to be Memphis State ball. Martin backing in a little bit, trying to get position. Elmer Martin underneath.
The zone half-court trap has really taken away the penetration ability of Gardner. 0-0. They love trapping on that sideline. You got to get the ball to the center of the floor.
Ford got away somehow.
He split that trap. What an interesting story. He had surgery to both legs. Shin surgery. Unbelievable, and he's playing.
He's got stainless steel rods in both his legs.
Number 32, Deuce Ford.
He just had that surgery done in June. Most people would still be limping around. He's playing college basketball. Dillard, 3, yes.
He can flat out shoot the rock, baby. This guy is a downtown shooter. 16 points in 2 minutes the other night. Had the place going nuts at the Bud Walton Arena. Named after Bud Walton from out of Walmart fame.
Memphis State loses it as Ford just lost the handle. Ford somehow got through the trap to score the last trip down, but he just lost the handle on the turnover and has given Arkansas the opportunity since the opening tip to take the lead if they score. They trailed 30-29.
They tried to set a screen for Dillard.
Robinson, great move on the baseline, and the freshman puts number 1 Arkansas in front for the first time.
That was a super move. Great head fake, baseline agility. We're looking at a guy about 6'10", 265.
Tiger fans had a lot to scream about early, but now here comes the Razorback.
Good decision by Nolan Richardson, changing his defense. Good anticipation. Look at this guy, a little showtime.
Lofts it up. Maybe should have taken it himself.
Trying to make the spectacular play.
So with 3:54 left in the half, it's Arkansas in front for the first time.
Purdue and New Orleans. Purdue ranked number 11, but the Privateers unimpressed. Dedrick Willoughby fights his way in and off the glass. Right now it's tied 71 apiece with 2 minutes to go. Brad Dick.
All right, John, a 1-point game here. Arkansas, number 1 in the country, and finally ahead for the first time.
Look at that anticipation. There's Gardner. He tries to throw the lob, tries to make that spectacular play, and they get a walk-in violation. Hey, I'm not shocked by that score of Purdue and New Orleans. New Orleans, tough. They were undefeated in a regular season in the Sun Belt last year, and very tough at home.
3:45 left first half. Arkansas 31-30. That's the first miss by Dillard after hitting a couple of threes.
Oh, look at the big fella around the glass.
Tip in by Robinson, and the Tanks got 6 off the bench.
I love the Tank. I'll tell you right now, there's no doubt he's going to be a star in Arkansas.
Nolan back in there at the point after Garner maybe got out of control a little bit there before the timeout. Cedric Henderson, he nails a 3.
Multi-dimensional, remember that name, Cedric Henderson, very smooth. He can play 3 positions. He can play the point guard, second guard, or play the small forward.
Cedric Henderson's first shot, a 3-pointer that ties it up for the first time tonight. And that also stopped the 13-4 Arkansas run in the last 6.5 minutes. Ball comes out to Henderson again. Got another one. 2-pointer.
He had 28 in the Summer League Championship. He played with Anthony Hardaway and also with Elliott Berry.
He's the leading scorer coming in. Had 23 against Tennessee the other night. And he's put Memphis State back in front. And now the foul inside.
Memphis State's got to make a few extra passes against that half-court defense, that trapping defense. They're shooting the ball a little bit too quickly.
Delta Faucet halftime report. John will have all the scores and highlights. Take a look at UConn at Seton Hall and much more, including that Vandy Wake Forest game that preceded us and took about 3 hours.
Unbelievable. We rehearsed our opening. We had a creative opening. Our producer worked all day. He had us here early, and we didn't even get on our opening. I can't believe it. John Saunders, help us out. We got no airtime at all. How do you feel coming back from Tokyo? I mean, you're the Marco Polo of the broadcasting world.
Once I ran into you today, reality hit in a hurry.
Oh, wow. You guys did a great job out there.
Yeah, we had a good game. Beck, 4 points out of the night, make it 5. Make it 4, rather.
He's one of the real tough defensive players in America. Took 52 charges last year. In fact, if I had to pick perimeter defensive players I'd like to play for me, I'd want Corey Beck and I would want Phelps down at North Carolina.
That'd be a pretty good pair to draw to.
They would lock you up and throw away the key.
Tied at 35.
Got to get in a gap. You got to use the post and then go opposite against this half-court defense. It's this zone-trapping defense.
Back it into Vaughn. He's doubled and got hammered.
See, now, if Vaughn made that one little extra pass and brought it out to the weak side, they would have had an open shot.
Drew the foul from Roger Crawford.
See, when you bring the ball into the center to gut of that defense, they bring 2 or 3 people to you. They had an open guy right on the wing. Number 32, Deuce Ford, was wide open. David Vaughn had 49 points in 2 games against Arkansas. 26 and 23 as a freshman in 2 W's, 2 wins.
And then last year, as we mentioned, the knee went just as the second half began. So overall, through 2.5 games, averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, and came in 21 out of 40 from the field against this team. So he's had Arkansas's number in 2.5 games. He's off to a pretty good start here tonight.
They won 20 games last year, but if they had the combination of Hardaway and Vaughn, I believe they would have won 25, 26 games.
Dillard is missed a couple after hitting his first 2. Henderson clears it.
Oh, good hustle right there. Now center it, look opposite. That's where you want to look.
Ford lofts underneath.
Great, just great ball movement. Making the extra pass, and they love it. Look at the Memphis Mania. They're going wild. Maybe it's a jinx being number 1. North Carolina, Kentucky.
And now Arkansas, the 3rd number 1 team in the land this year.
Give it to him inside. That's it. Bring it to the post.
He wants it. He got it, and he buried it. He's got 8 points.
His mom named him the Tank when he was born.
And the Tank with a steal on the other end. And look at those elbows.
I think a star is being born. Tonight we're seeing the making of a future star in an Arkansas uniform.
Scotty Thurman still hasn't scored. If you'd have told me that before this game started, I wouldn't have believed you. But that's the kind of depth Arkansas has to be only down a point with their main scorer from a year ago, not in the book. Now he is.
Just a matter of time. When you're sweet and you're smooth, nothing but nylon, a little MBN time. Ruston, Louisiana. He was brokenhearted that a friend of his, he grew up a block away. Gerald Honeycutt didn't come to school here.
Anderson threw up a brick off the back of the board, but almost threw it away. Nice hustle on defense after a poorly attempted shot from way outside. 40-38, Arkansas, just under 41 seconds remaining in the first half.
Thurman told me today at the shoot-around, he said, I was brokenhearted. I thought Gerald Honeycutt was going to join me. He said, we grew up together.
Robinson looking for his 10th point.
Is that a making of a star in a post? What great hands. He's got soft hands.
Gives Arkansas its biggest advantage, 42-38.
See, they're playing behind him. I believe when you get below that dotted line, you got to play 3-quarter and get some help over from the help side.
Nolan gets outside to Ford, and the tip. Nice tip by Horn. He's done some heavy-duty work underneath.
Horn and Simmons have been very active. We had a heck of a half here.
Up and down the court, a big lead early by Memphis State of 8 points, but Arkansas, number 1 in the country, comes roaring back, and they lead it at halftime, 42-40, as we go to John Saunders. John?
All right, guys, thanks a lot. 42-40 is the score. The Razorbacks fighting their way back. They trailed throughout most of the first half, and you missed most of the first half because we had double overtime in our first game. Welcome to the Delta Faucet halftime report. When we come back, we'll have scores and highlights, including that game between Vanderbilt and Wake Forest that took 2 extra periods to finish. 42-40 is your score.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Welcome back to the Delta Faucet halftime report. Just a 2-point game. Arkansas, the #1 team in the nation, but on the road at the Pyramid, leading 42-40 over Memphis State. Let's look elsewhere with scores and highlights. Kentucky down to #6 after losing to Indiana and losing big to Indiana. That one in the Hoosier Dome. This one against Eastern Kentucky. Rodney Dent only 2 points against Indiana and 6 turnovers, but tonight, Travis Ford to Dent, exclamation point, and he's pumped up. Then off the rebound, Dent gets it, and the ball's knocked out of his hands, but goes up and into the basket. Rick Pitino says we'll take him anywhere we can get him. Kentucky was only up 6 at halftime. Travis Ford 3 for 11 from three-point range against Indiana, but he knocks down a 3, then another 3. 13-0 run. 108-78 is the final. Rodney Dent finishing with 16 points. Kentucky outscoring Eastern 69-45 in the second half there. Wake Forest and Vanderbilt. If you were with us earlier, you saw part of this game. It went 2 overtimes before being decided. Trelawney Owens here, his first three-pointer of the year with 6 seconds left, tied the game at 69 apiece in overtime. Banks goes baseline, gets 2. Wake Forest was up 4. Randolph Childers had fouled out of the game, their leading scorer. Ronnie McMahon with a three-pointer at a free throw, and we're tied at 75 apiece into the second overtime. Chris Lawson inside with a fake in the bucket, and Childers can only look on. He had 28 points, but fouled out in the first overtime. 91-83 is the final. Billy McCaffrey with 23 points for Vanderbilt. Jacksonville, a loser to Florida, but just by 1, 68-67. They were down by 14 points at halftime. Jason Anderson with 15 points there. Arkansas Little Rock over Tennessee, 69-59. Tennessee struggling down to 1-3 now on the season. Mississippi, a loser to Southern Illinois, 81-60. Chris Carr had 29 points there. Purdue and New Orleans, 14 seconds to go. The game is tied at 74 apiece. Purdue ranked #11 in the nation. Tony Madison with 14 points for Purdue. Wisconsin, Green Bay facing Wisconsin. The Badgers up to #19 and riding the crest of a successful season of their football team. Rashard Griffith, the freshman, says, hey, you got to beat me. Turns around, dumps it down to Peterson underneath. And then the big block there. But Griffith shows he can put it in as well as he reverses and jams it down. Wisconsin adds to the lead as Tracy Webster finds Michael Finley. And he is fouled as he gets it in. The Badgers win going away 64-50 the final. Tracy Webster 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Rashard Griffith 15 points and 8 rebounds for the freshman. Penn State a winner over Akron 71-43. John Amaechi had 19 points and 16 rebounds against the Zip. We'll continue with more in just a moment. We'll look to the Big East, a game underway in that one, which is now a final. But first, here's a look at some other scores. UNLV, a loser to Texas A&M. Joe Wilbert of A&M had 20 points in that one.
This halftime report is presented by the Delta Faucet Company. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Welcome back once again to the Delta Faucet halftime report. 42-40 is your halftime score. Arkansas leading Memphis State. Let's look to some more scores and highlights. Now, first, let's update this one. It's gone to overtime. Purdue with a couple of streaks on the line. You just see they've added 2 points, 76-74. They have the lead. They have never lost a game in December with Glenn Robinson, a perfect 9-0. On to the Big East now. The Huskies, number 21 with a bullet, if you will, rising fast. Seton Hall starting the season with a loss to St. John's. Jim Calhoun, they had a tough time in the first half. Brian Caver comes in, jams it down. 37-34, Seton Hall led at halftime. But the Huskies come back in the second half. Kevin Awley with the steal and the layup. And UConn wins this one big, 82-66. Donyell Marshall, 20 points, 14 rebounds. And Donnie Marshall, a career-high 19 points. Morehead State, Dick Fick, whoever's doing his scheduling, he has to look at this one again. He has to play Louisville, and then in a couple of days, he goes up against Kentucky. Tonight, it was Louisville. And Clifford Rozier catches the lob and dunks this one down. DeJuan Wheat will step through and hits the jumper, rolls it in. And Wheat, a three-pointer as well from way out. Dwayne Morton goes to the baseline, stops and pops it down. And Dick Fick, that's the way he looks this early in the season. And he has to play Kentucky next. 107-81 was the final. 6 players in double figures, including Clifford Rozier, who had 25 to lead all scores. Kansas against NC State. If you were with us earlier, we reported NC State actually led this one for much of the first half. It was very close. And number 7, Kansas escapes with the victory, though. Greg Ostertag with the block and Fuller. Ostertag then loose, wide open, two-handed jam. 39-30 at halftime. Marcus Wilson with the jumper as NC State is coming back. They are within 4. The Jayhawks will take it back. Jacques Vaughn to Richard Scott on the break. He finger rolls it in. And 74-57 is the final. Greg Gurley had a career-high 17 points there. 3-pointers. Kansas hit 9 of 13. NC State 8 of 29. They were bombing away. All right, we'll continue with more in just a moment. We're at halftime in a pretty good game. 42-40 is your score. Arkansas leading Memphis State. Some more scores. Virginia Tech over UNC Greensboro. The Hokies' first 4-0 start since 1984.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Sony. It's your life. Isn't it worth a Sony?
Back to the second half in just a moment. Here's an update. New Orleans leading Purdue 80-79. There's just over a minute left. Glenn Robinson has fouled out of the game with 21 points. We will keep you updated when this one is a final. We'll be sure to bring to it. Right now, let's take you back to Brad and Dick.
All right, John, 42-40. Arkansas leading Memphis State. Memphis State jumped out to the big lead. Welcome back to the Pyramid. 8-0 at the beginning, Dick, because Memphis State wasn't in awe at all of the #1 team in the country.
They weren't intimidated and did a great job attacking that pressure defense. They took it right to the gut, went to the basket, but a tremendous adjustment by Nolan Richardson changing defenses. We watched the extra pass that they make in attacking the pressure here. Ball goes inside. There's a nice look by Ford. Mr. Vaughn with 8 points, little slam jam bam, David Vaughn.
He leads Memphis State. On the other end, though, the freshman, you really like this kid.
Oh, Darnell Robinson, look at him sitting in the post. Watch this up and up. And there's the little fake, takes the ball to the baseline. Gerald says, wow, Horn, I can't believe it. Darnell Robinson, unbelievable.
He and Corliss Williamson, each with 10. And Robinson wasn't in there that much. Here's how the halftime stats look. Arkansas still really didn't warm up that much from the field, while Memphis State shot 50. 3-pointers have not been a big factor yet. You have to wonder, though, if they're going to be as the game rolls along.
15 turnovers. Memphis State turns the ball over 15 times. But, you know, that's customary against Arkansas.
Right.
I mean, look at the diaper dandies. Look at these freshmen.
Miller with 7 and a steal. Garner with 3 steals. Henderson a nice all-around game. And Deuce Ford a couple of points, a couple of rebounds. And you'll see those guys a lot more tonight, a lot more for years to come here in Memphis.
Brad, you know, I really feel a game is broken down into certain segments. And an important segment is the post 4 minutes after halftime. Especially, I feel, for Memphis State right here. These 4 minutes are going to be crucial, seeing what they do coming out of the gate against the #1 team in America, Arkansas.
Boy, if they come out of the gate to start the second half like they did the ball game, then the crowd will be right back into it. And that's something also Arkansas did, is took the crowd out of the game.
And there's another turnover. They make a lot of apple turnovers here tonight.
Thurman. Air ball. I guess net ball as he missed from 3. Beck, great defense again, knocked it away from Ford.
He took 52 charges last year. He really attacks the basketball. like Derek Phelps does down in North Carolina. They really have great balance. They really get into a super stance, and they constantly attack the basketball.
Here's little Chris Garner, who electrified the crowd, especially with his defense in the first half. Another freshman. Tremendous quickness. But he made mistakes like that in the first half, too.
Has a tendency to leave his feet.
Nice job by Ford to get back and knock it away from Beck.
When he gets into that dribble penetration mode and he attacks the basket, he has a tendency to be up in the air. And he's got to give the rock up there, and if he doesn't have anybody to give it to, it's turnover city. There's offensive transition by Arkansas. Defensively, a little slow getting back by Memphis State.
Stewart can shoot outside. Got the three.
He's from out of here in Memphis. He's got his family here. They're all excited.
He hit 8 threes last year. He's got 3 this season already.
Mobility is his trademark. He's so mobile for a big player.
45-40. Arkansas has pushed it to a 5-point lead. And again, Memphis State throws it away as Miller was trying to get it to Horn.
Really turning the ball over with each possession. They're not getting enough ball movement. 4 turnovers already here in the first half. Second half.
And there's the numbers on the game so far. And as we told you, Arkansas forces 28 a game average. Beck had it stripped from Horn, by Horn rather, and got it right back.
Beck likes to go inside. He's very versatile. He can push down the boxes.
How about Stewart out there, nailing the threes, the big fella. He's down about 20 pounds from last year, too. And back-to-back three-pointers has put Arkansas in front 48-40.
Very calm, very poised, squared up on that three-point line. Look at his defense. There's not enough ball movement right now. Too much dribble. Look at, he's like a windshield wiper. He's going east and west. You got to go north and south. They're not getting a good look at the basket. That defense is absolutely super. Very tenacious. I really believe there are 3 coaches in America, Brad, that don't get enough credit for teaching good defense. Billy Tubbs at Oklahoma. This guy, Nolan Richardson, and Steve Fisher at Michigan.
Nolan Richardson's got his #1 team in front now by 8. Memphis State down by 8, but Larry Finch said today his team would not be intimidated by the #1 team in the country.
Young men depend on you. And if they depend on you, you got to show them that you have just as much confidence in them as they have in you as a coach. So you'll never hear me say, I don't think we ever have a chance of winning. No, I think we got a great chance of winning. We're here at home. As long as they stay relaxed and we play our game, then I feel good about it.
They've got to quit turning the ball over, though. They've had 4 possessions this half, 3 turnovers and a missed field goal, while Arkansas has 3 possessions, and they've hit 2 3-pointers. And it's 48-40. Razorbacks make it 50-40 Razorbacks.
They're really efficient right now, getting outstanding execution, screening, moving the basketball. Never panicked when they fell behind by 8.
Memphis State in desperate need of a basket.
Too much dribbling, pounding the ball to the deck, not getting enough ball movement.
Almost threw it away again. Garner buries a 15-footer.
I tell you, he's always making a spectacular play around his back, 360s. I mean, always hanging in the air.
You can't even blink or you'll miss what he's about to do.
Williamson wants the ball down in the box. If they reverse the ball, they got to lay up to Corliss Williamson.
Henderson looked like a shove underneath Thurman.
Brad, when you talk about deep teams, I really believe the deepest 3 teams in America are Kentucky, Arkansas, and North Carolina.
They've all been #1.
And I really think that at the end of the year, they'll be heard from. I like Temple and I like Michigan also, and Duke, but Michigan and Temple don't have a lot of depth. And if they ever have an injury, they really could be in trouble.
Stewart, I thought he was going to launch another 3-pointer. Williamson on the drive, and he drew the foul.
Spreading the court right there for Corliss Williamson, one of the outstanding baseline beauties. I really believe these are the 5 best front courts in basketball. Carolina's so deep. Kentucky's got 6 guys they can rotate. Arkansas with the development of Robinson and Wilson. Duke's certainly solid. Cherokee Parks has 20 rebounds, and Grant Hill. And Louisville with Rozier, and you talk Osborne, who's going to be a really good player, and Morton and Minor can play along that baseline.
Nice inbounds to Williamson. He nails it and got a chance for a three-point play.
Look at the emotion, and they're really chanting down in Arkansas. I can hear him right now. Whoa, Big Suey! I like that chant along with Rock Chalk Jayhawks. There's a nice screen. Look at the screen by number 30. He made that happen for his buddy, number 34, Corliss Williamson. Look, it makes like a cheerleader. I like his hairdo.
We saw Nolan Richardson's club run that in practice in the shoot-around today, and they didn't do it right. And he said, hey, blew his whistle while I was talking. Dick said, do it again. That was the exact play, and it pays off for a three-point play for Williamson, and now an 11-point Arkansas lead.
We talked about these 4 minutes being vital to Memphis State, and we have seen that they've come out of the gate here struggling against this defensive pressure of Arkansas. I think one of the great assets of Nolan Richardson, you and I talked about it today, watching him at the shoot-around. He has a great ability of communicating with his athletes, to getting them to do what he wants them to do. And to me, that's the key of coaching, getting people to understand your concepts and theories.
Garner's three won't go. Thurman will clear it ahead to McDaniel on a run. And he got mugged on his way to the basket.
Arkansas has so many players that can hurt you. I mean, you just pop up names, Crawford, McDaniel. I was teasing you were there, Nolan. I talked to Nolan on the phone about a week ago. We're going over all the players. I get all the information on all the guys. All of a sudden, the next day, I pick up the paper and I read, Dillard, 16 points. I jumped to my notes. I said, who is Dillard?
Who's Dillard?
I have no idea. Who is he? He never told me about him. He said, well, Dick, I forgot to tell you about him.
He said he's a surprise, and he has been. McDaniel, 6 points on the night. Junior out of Tulsa. Simmons is going to check back in for Memphis State.
One thing I like about Arkansas's team is they have a lot of interchangeable parts. Guys that can rotate and play a multitude of positions on the floor. And you can do a lot of things with those kind of players in terms of changing defenses.
It is 55 to 42. Arkansas may make this a rout if they get on a run.
I think Garner's overhandling the basketball. I would give him a few minutes on that sideline. He's going to be an excellent player.
I'd give Marcus Nolan some time on the floor. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, Nolan really played well early in the game. See, I think he's dribbling too much.
And now the youth showing up on this Memphis State team. It's just that simple. Was a foul in there, though, as Crawford got a piece of Miller.
There's one major problem right now with them offensively, Brad. Very simple. No ball movement or player movement.
And a big run by Arkansas to start the half with 15 to 2. Remember, they only led 42 to 40 at halftime.
I think the pre-halftime 4 minutes and the post-halftime 4 minutes is so vital in a basketball game.
Miller underneath. Stewart got a piece of that.
Every shot is being challenged. Lamberson does a solid job as the assistant coach on that sideline. He's been responsible. He's from Alabama, and he's done a great job of getting into Alabama in terms of recruiting.
15-25 to play in the ball game, and top-ranked Arkansas finding themselves down 8-0 at the beginning of the game, and then 26 to 18, but now have run it up to a 15-point lead. Cedric Henderson will inbound right in front of the Razorback bench.
They got kids from Alabama like Crawford and Dillard. And Nolan gives credit to his assistant, Michael Anderson.
Foul on the inbound. I think it's going to go on Thurman. We've got NFL action coming up Sunday night. Sterling Sharp and the Green Bay Packers, part of a trio tied for the top spot in the NFC Central, take on Bobby Ross' San Diego Chargers. 8 o'clock from Jack Murphy Stadium Sunday night right here on ESPN.
He wants to overhandle a basketball. Everybody stands and watches. Everybody becomes a Kodak man. They all want to take pictures. See, watch. They all want to watch him do his thing.
Well, they can beat Kodak if they want, but somebody better snap a shot pretty soon that goes in.
See, right now, everybody's standing. There's no ball movement at all.
Here's Henderson baseline. That was a good shot. It just didn't go. Beck clears it ahead. Great pass to Crawford.
Crawford releases in transition. A lack of team balance defensively, rotating back by Memphis State.
Beck threw that thing about 87 feet right on the money.
He's playing for that bragging rights. He's from the city of Memphis.
And
Look
he
at
might
that
have a
defense.
steal here. Nice hustle, Corey.
Watch Arkansas. Watch how they release in transition. There's Beck. He's going to make the great pass to his running mate. And there's Crawford out ahead of the pack. And nobody rotates back. Defensively, in transition, a no-no by Memphis State.
Beck with a great hustle on this end. He's got a smile on his face because he just slid right under our table. Vaughn with a three.
And it wasn't an easy three. Had a hand right up in his face, but the big guy knocks it down.
And a walk. Well, maybe not. They're going to call a foul. I thought Beck walked with it. Foul inside will be on Simmons.
Well, people don't realize, we heard about how young, and certainly they are, Memphis State. But take a look at this Arkansas team. You want to talk about youth.
Arkansas with a couple of star sophomores. They've got the two big freshmen who have been brilliant tonight. And they might be better next year than they are right now. And that same story holds true for Memphis State. Vaughn stuffed Stewart's hook shot attempt.
See, that's what I talk about interchangeable. We watch Stewart go to the perimeter. He knocks down two trifectas. Now we watch him rotate inside and take that 6'9", 259 on the boxes. That's my kind of guy. He's got a little hot dog in him, a little pizzazz, a little jazz. You came running out here with a game and a pregame warm-ups, waving number one. They say Williamson now with three. I thought we had him with three a little bit earlier.
Three in the first half. Marcus Nolan comes in, and he will run the show now at the point.
I think that's a good decision by Larry Finch. Giving Gardner a little break. He was struggling against that pressure. He's going to be a very good player.
That is Williamson's third foul, as the official stat sheet had him for two in the first half.
That's the one that counts.
That's right. Ford might get another chance. And drew a foul from Robinson.
He was part of a real heated recruiting battle for it. Arkansas, also Memphis State, but decided to stay home. His dad, the coach, as we said earlier, at Fairleigh High School, sent three players to Nolan Richardson, Elmo Martin, who's on the sideline, along with Stewart and Beck. What a great city for talent. Lorenzen Wright, remember that name? 6'10 and a half. He's from Memphis. He's a senior. He signed with Memphis State. Instant impact they expect next year.
Deuce Ford, Sylvester Jr., if you will, who averaged 20 points a game last year as a McDonald's and Parade All-American, and led his father's team to the state championship. They were 37-1 last year.
Not a bad record. Those numbers are impressive on a resume. Nolan Richardson was 37-0 in 1980 in junior college. Texas Western Junior College.
Dillard's back in there. That means if he touches it, it goes up. Got it.
Doesn't waste any time. He usually strips the net.
3 threes for Alex Dillard.
When I hear about 16 points in 2 minutes, it brings back memories of Isaiah Thomas against the New York Knicks and Bernard King one year in a playoff. He did about the same thing down there in the Motor City.
Think about how hard it is just to get the possessions to get 16 points in 2 minutes.
And that's what he did in their last game against Northwestern Louisiana. And he's got the license to shoot it.
Ford drew the double team, pushes it out. Nolan. Vaughn on the rebound, got it back in.
Good offensive rebound in position by Vaughn. They're getting a little bit more ball movement now with Nolan on the floor as the general.
Not quite as helter-skelter. That's Dillard from a mile out.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And John Saunders, check out that area code, J, baby. That's no college three. Wow, what range.
He just looked over and smiled at us. Nolan Richardson was asked what his range was. He says down in Bud Walton Arena, he said, you better pick him up at the snout of the hog on the emblem at midcourt or he'll drill it on you. And he just took one from way downtown, Beale Street on the last one for Alex Dillard.
Well, I thought he was at Elvis's mansion. Somebody told me Elvis is here tonight. Hey, I'll tell you something else as we watch the little guy. Look at that range. Look at that range. Are you kidding me? Look at that range.
Wow.
NBA range. He's 25 years of age. And look at his eyes rolling here at us. He's 25. For 3 years after high school, he worked in a grocery store, didn't go on to college. Then he went to junior college in Birmingham, Alabama, and Michael Anderson found him, the assistant coach. He'll stretch out the defenses, too, at that range and make their bigger people so effective along the baseline, Robinson and Wilson.
I asked Dillard before the game, I said, Al, what were you doing those 3 years in between school and junior college? He said, well, just working and then going and shooting as much as possible. I said, where'd you work? He said, mostly fast food. Now I think it's fast points. That's what it is.
He's building a reputation. You talk about instant offense, that's going to stay with him. They're going to have that expectations every time he's on the floor.
Henderson's going to pick up the push. That's his third.
You know, talking about expectations, we were talking to Nolan Richardson about the pressure of being number one. He says, Nick, every coach dreams of getting to number one. He says, I like it. I like the fact we're number one.
And if they get by this one, and right now they've got it by 15, make it 18.
They're on fire, baby.
Dwight Stewart doesn't want to be outdone by Alex Dillard, who's about a foot shorter than he is. He has 3 trays in the half. A 6'9" junior shooting outside. And he just almost came up with a steal there.
I think this eventually will be the best team Nolan's had. And I know they've had some great ones in 90 going to the Final Four. 91 losing to the Elite Eight to Kansas with Todd Day and Mayberry.
Here he goes again. This one a little too hard.
Oh, it was too short.
Yep.
It was too short. Nolan says, I never want to see him take a deuce. I always want him to back up and shoot the three.
Sidney Cole's in there now.
Brother of Bimbo Coles, plays for the Miami Heat.
On the way to the basket. Ford is fouled by Crawford.
Coles was a starter last year. Larry Finch, to me, showed a lot of poise last year. When he lost David Vaughn in that first game, to regroup and get his people to go on and win 20 games, finished second in the Great Midwest Conference, which is so tough. And they went to the NCAAs and lost to a solid Western Kentucky team of Ralph Willard.
Stewart will sit. He's had a big-time second half.
Great homecoming for Stewart. I know he feels on cloud 9. He'll get some of Mama's cooking tonight after the game.
Ford hits the free throw, his third this half.
Told me the toughest thing he had here today was trying to find 12 tickets for all his relatives.
They were really trying to divvy tickets around to all these kids from Memphis on both teams. Ford hits them both, but it's still Arkansas out in front now by 14.
We showed you the score. Purdue did prevail in overtime against New Orleans, but New Orleans had a chance to win the game. Derek Willoughby's shot is off the mark, and Purdue holds on for the victory by 2. Brad and Dick.
All right, Purdue survives there. John, here at 68-54 Arkansas, as they were down by 8 points twice in the first half to Memphis State. They led by 2 at halftime, but the second half has been theirs.
Take a look here, 3-point field goal percentage in the second half, 60% here, 9 for 15, shooting 43% for the season.
Nice speed underneath. Simmons got a piece of it as Robinson went up. Back comes Memphis State. Ford got it.
Got to make those open 15-foot shots. Ford knocks it down. Ford, Henderson, and Gardner certainly going to be special players here at Memphis State.
Dillard had a notion from way outside again.
Trying to spread the defense right now against the zone. Larry Finch makes an adjustment, comes out of his man-to-man, goes to the zone defense.
Let's see if they get it in the hands of Dillard. Wilson pushed up on the high post. Did Coles get him? Yes, that's going to be the call. Sidney Coles picks up his first foul.
The difference with Arkansas and Memphis State, guys like Gardner, and you talk about Henderson, they have to do it right away because they become key options, where the freshmen at Arkansas now just fit pieces of the puzzle like Lee Wilson right here.
And Lee Wilson came in 71% from the line. That one wasn't even close. This is the guy that Nolan Richardson says he is our one definite low post center type player. Even though Robinson also 6'11", this guy is a low post man. and the center of the future, if not the present.
They really feel he's going to be a special player. They're working with him every day down inside on post moves. He doesn't have right now the skill level of Robinson. Robinson's able to do a few more things, but he's going to eventually be a very solid combination. Wilson and Robinson together. What a tandem inside.
They're going to sit down together right now as Corliss Williamson and Scotty Thurman check back in for the Hogs, who are up by 13 with 10:40 left in the ballgame.
That's nice to bring out two guys like that and you bring on the floor Williamson and Thurman.
Vaughn, nice wheel on the baseline. They've got to get him the ball a little bit more.
They got to look for him. He's a little bit of an unselfish player. I think he's got to want the ball a little bit more. He's got tremendous talent.
Memphis State has slowly sliced it from 18 down to 11. Maybe more if they can score on this possession.
Vaughn's got to pop open for the basketball.
Henderson slices, had it blocked by Williamson, but Vaughn scores it.
Vaughn says, if nobody's going to give me the basketball, I'm just going to go up there and get it, baby. David Vaughn hit a big shot to beat Arkansas in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. Now watch him come up with the offensive rebound. There he is, the long arms. Nice rotation. Gets pumped up, makes like a cheerleader. And they got a great dance team here. What a show they put on at halftime. #1 in the nation.
We've got 10:09 left, and all of a sudden, a 9-point ball game. David Vaughn with the last 4 points for Memphis State. Had a tip in, a chance for a 3-point play coming up. On the previous play, it was moves like this on the outside that has his coach excited about what he can do.
Great big guy, no question in my mind. He can play inside, he can play outside, tenacious rebounder, can block shots. He can do all phases of the game well for a big person, but that's the thing that sets him apart from most big people. He's able to go out on the floor and shoot the ball extremely well from out there.
Hey, Brad, this is the 4th time Memphis State has played a team #1 in the nation. They lost at Seton Hall in 1953 when the Pirates were led by Walter Dukes. They lost to UCLA in the NCAA championship in '73. And then 83, Phi Slamma Jamma beat them. Hakeem Olajuwon, that's when our Jimmy V beat Houston for the national title that year.
But they've done well against ranked teams when they weren't a #1 team in this building in the pyramid, including beating Arkansas here.
In fact, mentioning Jimmy V right now, I just want to send our warmest regards to his mom. His mom is in a hospital right now, and we're all praying for you. She underwent surgery, and believe me, everybody on ESPN has so much love and admiration for Mrs. Valvano.
Memphis State had hit 5 of their last 7 before that miss, and every opportunity is going to count now against Arkansas as they trail by 9 with 9.5 to go.
I would go either to Stewart or Williamson. They need a basket right now. Momentum's gotten a little away from them. Showing some discipline, spreading the court.
And Thurman lost it out of bounds. Nice defensive play by Cole.
They seem to get a little bit cocky. They got the lead. They got a little complacent. You don't see that emotion they were playing with a little bit earlier.
They started burying those threes, and they did get a little bit puffed up about it, I think.
Right now, bring the ball to Vaughn. Williamson's got 3, trying to check him. Now they switch. They get Williamson off him.
There's Vaughn.
I'd bring the ball to him. He's got to be my #1 option.
Here's
nice pass.
Daniel scored.
Nice pass. Nice catch.
That quiets the crowd and puts it back in double figures at 11.
That looked like Young to Rice. I mean, that was perfectly thrown. Really struggling.
10 seconds with that hesitation by Cole.
Watch this pass right here. Great look. Look at that catch. Jerry Rice going up, lays it home. Is there anybody ever better than that guy? That guy's incredible.
There's a pretty good one called Sterling Sharp that'll be on ESPN Sunday night. Packers and the Chargers, but I don't think anybody touches Jerry. Williamson, there's the guy you want to get it to, that Dick said, but Vaughn the rebound.
Good 2-man play, getting the ball in deep to Williamson.
Still time for Memphis State, but they're going to have to start hitting every trip down.
David's got to get a little active offensively without the ball.
Newsom outside. That's an air ball.
He's a very streaky shooter, Newsom.
That streak went the wrong way.
I think the guy I like, and he doesn't get a lot of playing time, or he played well early, was Nolan.
Yep.
At that point guard slot. Here comes Garner on the floor.
Nolan had 6 points early and ran the floor well and the team well and has not played that much since, and he doesn't have foul trouble. Turnovers now, Memphis State up to 21.
You don't have guards against Arkansas, you're going to be in trouble. I'll tell you, they'll tear you apart with their defense.
We're under 8 minutes. Arkansas leads 71-60. Stewart packing the pounds in the paint. Vaughn forced him to cough it up, and still is a foul underneath. This one might be on Newsom on the baseline. No, it will not be. It'll be on Vaughn.
They got those real thick, wide bodies on that baseline. Williamson and Stewart and Robinson. So big and strong, you can't get around them. They lay a screen on you, they hurt you.
Amazing thing about Arkansas, we're talking to Nolan Richardson about it today, his young guys have put pounds on. Guys like Wilson and Robinson, and guys like Williamson and Stewart have taken weight off. And now they got a whole bunch of guys about the same size. Williamson and Stewart still the beefier of the Razorbacks. Newsom, well, that streak went in the right direction.
Yeah, he's a really streaky shooter. I mean, he could throw in 3 or 4 quick ones or 3 or 4 air balls. Williamson really knows how to sit on a post inside. Gets that good low post position. Oh, nice fake.
71-62. Stewart just takes his time and nails it.
That's the 4th one in his half.
Yep.
Big fella from out of Fairleigh High School right down the road here in Memphis.
8 threes all of last year. And that's even a lot for a guy his size. He's got 4 in this half.
And he's lost some weight, lost about 20, 25 pounds.
That one really hurt Memphis State. This one they cut it back to single digits. 74-62, or under 7 minutes. Newsom will try it again. 3-pointer.
He's got the streak going right now.
Leading scorer off the bench last year.
He was instant offense last year in many a game. What a conference they're in, too. That great Midwest. You talk about outstanding basketball with Cincinnati, Marquette.
Dillard, that one was too close for him. Vaughn the rebound. Chance to make it a 7-point game if they score.
He really wants to put a show on this guy with the rock in his hand. Out of control, though. Out of control.
All he did was charged.
In this environment right now, he's trying to have one up on the guys he's playing against, and he's really a little bit out of control with the rock.
Is our nation obsessed with being #1? That's just one of the topics explored in the upcoming edition of ESPN's Emmy Award-winning Outside the Line series. Other topics: does hypnosis help an athlete overcome anxiety? When winning and losing doesn't matter. Plus interviews with superstars and super coaches. That's coming up December 10th at 7:30, Outside the Lines on ESPN. That's a great series.
Bob Lee does a phenomenal job.
Sure does.
That should be goaltending right there. I thought they missed the goaltending.
Instead, they'll call a foul on Simmons. That'll be his 3rd.
Tries to get that reverse layup along the baseline, Williamson. Now watch this drive. Here goes Corliss. Super south, takes the ball to the goal, hangs. Ooh. They get the contact. Close.
And Williamson to the free throw line.
Came out with Othello Harrington, who certainly has been a star player from day 1 down at Georgetown. They've lived up to all of their publicity and notoriety, and so has Corliss Williamson.
Williamson toured South America with a national under-22 team that Roy Williams coached. He hated the food, and that was part of the reason he lost 15 pounds. That always helps.
Mike Jarvis ultimately took that team over. Roy stepped aside, and Mike did a great job. They won that gold medal.
Henderson, short. Dillard might shoot from there if he gets to the ball. He thought it was last touch by Memphis State. It wasn't.
Nolan on that sideline does an outstanding job teaching. Their defensive pressure is really special. You mentioned Roy Williams. They win tonight over North Carolina State. What a struggle it's been for Les Robinson. They lost to Campbell. It's really been a tough time. Roy got out of that coaching situation, wanted to spend more time with his family. I had some interesting quotes that I read relating it to Jimmy Valvano and Jimmy's battle.
Corey Beck trying to come up with a steal, and he might have gotten the ball right in the nose. Over over behind us. Checking to make sure everything is still attached on his face where it's supposed to be.
They really got hog fever down there in Arkansas. 19,200 sold out, a waiting list for tickets. I mean, I wonder if the president's listening tonight. You think he's listening to us?
I would think he's watching. He's a big Arkansas fan.
Oh.
I've been meaning to try to get a hold of him and see if he wants to go jogging when I'm up to do a Georgetown game.
He loves the Razorbacks. I want to challenge him to a game of horse. I bet he can't shoot the rock.
Well, if Bill's watching, we can get a hold of Dick and I, and we'll play little hoops and jog a little. Miller will check back in for Memphis State.
Spoke to Eddie Sutton today, Oklahoma State coach, who coached down at Arkansas and did a fantastic job. 78, they had the triplets, Marvin Delph, Sidney Moncrief, Ron Brewer. And that was the year that went to the Final Four, won by Kentucky. Remember Givens having a big game in 78? Jack Givens.
Henderson. Well, a lot of people think this Arkansas team is in that category, along with Moncrief and company.
Eddie Sutton told me he really liked them. He watched them on a tube. He said their defensive pressure, and he loved their athletic ability and the depth that they have.
So right now, Memphis State with Miller, Garner, Newsom, Horn, and Vaughn on the floor. Scotty Thurman's going to check back in for Arkansas. He joins Beck, McDaniel, Williamson, and Stewart.
Scotty Thurman's been under wraps here tonight.
He hasn't shot much. He's got 5 points, but he really hadn't had a chance to put it up.
And that shows you what an outstanding team is when you can shut down one of their key weapons and they still can come at you.
And McDaniel buries a 3.
They have so many people. I mean, everywhere on the floor they have a threat.
All of a sudden, you look at McDaniel in the scorebook, he's got 14 points.
Well, Robinson gets 10 in 6 minutes.
Garner, nice drive.
Chris Garner with that quickness. Once he learns how to control that quickness and utilize it as a positive, he has a tendency at times to hurt himself with it.
Thurman, great feed to Stewart. And he got triple teamed as he went up to the hoop.
See, last year Thurman would have taken a shot there. But here he is now, makes the extra pass inside. Tough time right now down in Tennessee. Wade Houston really struggling. One of the nice people. I think that job is almost impossible. You got women's basketball to contend with. You got football to contend with. And most of all, you got a facility down here better than 25,000. If you get 12,000, it looks empty.
Tennessee women's team, #1 in the country.
Oh, what a great job she does. You talk about a woman that can coach. She can coach at any level, any league.
Yep. Stewart done almost all of his damage outside. 4 for 4 from three-point range. And the free throw.
What a lovable guy, too. You talk to him, great personality. I'm going to become Pat Summitt's agent.
I think you just did. I don't know if she needs your help or not. She's got 500 wins or so.
Wow.
Miller trying to get free from Beck, and Beck just swiped it from him. To McDaniel on the fly.
Corey Beck, he's a defensive whiz. Beck, McDaniel, or Beck and Crawford, they put relentless pressure on the basketball. Give me Beck and Phelps. If I pick my all-Rambo team, my defensive whizzes, I want Beck and I want Phelps in North Carolina.
And Memphis State wants a timeout, as now they trail by 14, 83-69, with 4:28 left in the ballgame.
From the standpoint of depth, I think this may be the best group of youngsters I've been able to assemble. Plus, not only are they're the best group, but they're a young group that will be together for a little bit. And at the same time, I think as we continue to play, this is going to be our first game away from home. I'll get a chance to know a little bit more about this basketball team after we leave Memphis tonight.
Well, its team was down 8-0 at the beginning and 26-18 halfway through the first half. But from that point on, Arkansas, the #1 team in the country, has put on quite a show.
He knows a little bit about winning. Did a great job in junior college when he coached Western, did an undefeated 37-0 and #1 in the nation in junior college.
And remember, he had a couple of teams that won over 30 games with Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Oliver Miller in that group. So when he compares this group to that one and the others he's had, you know that he is pretty strong. Williamson, nice move in the paint, drew the foul.
They really spread the court well, and they post up exceptionally well inside with Williamson and Stewart. Fourth foul on Vaughn.
It's really been a combination of that depth that Arkansas has, Dick, and just too many miscues, I think, by Memphis State.
Yeah, the pressure defense has created those opportunities for Arkansas. You know, he thought that his team in '92 would be the best team, but Oliver Miller was not in great shape that year physically. That was the year they lost to Memphis State in the tournament. Oliver Miller certainly in shape now down there at Phoenix, doing a solid job coming off the bench.
Stewart goes out. Darnell Robinson comes in.
91, they got beaten at Elite Eight by Kansas and went on to the Final Four. In 90, they were right there when UNLV won it all. Out in Denver, they were in the Final Four.
The only trouble Williamson's had tonight is from the free throw line. He missed them both. Steele again. Who else? Beck.
Murray Beck. I mean, does he take your pocket? Look at the big fella run the court from Russellville, Arkansas, baby. They love him down there. Whoa, Pig Suey.
Newsom 3. Rebound back, outlet back. Williamson on the receiving end. And Newsom.
Intentional. Good call. Good call by Don Rutledge. Intentional 2 shots in the basketball.
Larry Finch trying to argue his case. Here's another look at it.
No, excellent call right here. There's no doubt he grabs him. Look at this. I mean, that's intentional. He's grabbing him, trying to stop him from going to the goal.
But Corey Beck with 4 steals tonight, it seems like about 14. And plays like that to set up his teammates.
And also tremendous pressure all night long on the basketball. He drove the little guy wild, Garner, into a lot of turnovers. Look at those pants. Look at those baggy pants. I mean, they're challenging Michigan and Georgia Tech.
Yep, there's some drawers around the league, around college basketball, that's for sure.
They look like culottes. They look like culottes. I mean, those aren't basketball shorts. I want to see the hot pants. Oh, little pushing there. Come on, Corey. Don't need that.
He just turned around, looked up into the crowd, and put one finger up with a big smile on his face as if to say, yeah, I'm home, and I'm playing like crazy, and didn't go over too well with some of the Memphis State guys. And a lot of them will see each other again this summer playing
and he'll walk
pickup
out.
games.
He'll walk out with just really high.
McDaniel pulls up. Thurman follows it. They haven't needed Scotty Thurman's 13 points or so a game, as they've run it up now 88-69.
Very difficult to scout Arkansas.
Beck another steal. Thurman on the outlet.
Little showtime. Jubilee Shed City. You're watching the #1 team in America. They're the best team I've seen this year.
Memphis State another timeout. And the Razorbacks know it now. They are up 90-69. Triple header hoops Saturday on ESPN. We'll start things off at 5 o'clock Eastern. Ball State and Western Kentucky will have at it. And then a battle between the Badgers of Wisconsin and Texas Tech will follow at 7:30. Wisconsin now in the top 20. And then Big Country. Bryant Reeves and the Cowboys of Oklahoma State travel to New Orleans to battle LSU. That's where Mr. Vitale will be. 9:30 Saturday night right here on ESPN. Taking the missus down to New Orleans, huh?
Yeah, taking her down there. I can't wait to see Big Country. Talked to Eddie Sutton today. He had a tough time with Arizona. He was impressed with that Arizona backcourt. Damon Stoudemire and Khalid Reeves.
Here, #1 Arkansas has a 90-69 lead over Memphis State, a team that scared them for 10 minutes of the first half and was down only by 2 at halftime, but the second half belonged to the Hogs. They're rolling now to what might be another 100-point game. Wilson on the rebound.
Nice rebound by the big fella inside at 6'11", Lee Wilson.
Remots almost turned it over. You know, we haven't even had to mention the shot clock tonight. We didn't expect to, but I mean, it just didn't even come up.
No problem.
Garner, Vaughn walked with it.
Turnover sitting. That's what they do to you.
Sports Center coming up next. And the Worms got a new do, apparently. We'll have an update on Barry Sanders, all the college hoop action, and much more. Sports Center to follow. About 2 minutes, 3 seconds from now. Memphis State has turned it over 27 times.
I want to get the Worms' old do. I like those dues.
You'll take anybody's do.
Anybody's do. Come on, Dennis, give me your do, baby.
Under 2 minutes. Scotty Thurman outside. He's going to pick up some spare points now. The other guys are on the bench.
He doesn't take any bad shots either. Last year he would take some bad shots. Right now he seems to be more under control, Scotty Thurman.
Wilson, another rebound.
Nice rebounded position by Wilson.
Crawford flies in on the wing. Garner got a piece of it, knocked it out of bounds.
I would love to see Arkansas and Temple hook up. See how Arkansas can attack that matchup defense of John Chaney. That'd be an interesting matchup. The ball control against the running and pressure defense.
Scotty Thurman done for the night now.
Western Louisiana.
He'll leave with 12.
I got to give him an F, though. An F for recruiting. He didn't close the deal for his buddy Gerald Honeycutt. He didn't put him in a uniform instead of Perry Clark out of the state in Louisiana down at Tulane.
Robinson, hook shot on the baseline. Wilson pushed off, trying to get that rebound.
Playing the Twin Towers together down inside. The two diaper dandies, just babies and learning the game. Wilson and Robinson. But they're going to be big-time players at Arkansas.
With babies like that size, you wouldn't want to be in the delivery room, would you?
Wow. His mom named him the Tank immediately. His granddad lives in Arkansas, and also in Tulsa, rather. And what happened, Nola Richardson, since his popularity is so big in Tulsa, that helped him in a recruiting process. In fact, Darnell didn't visit any other schools. His mom came from the Tulsa area, and his granddad still lives there.
Newsom 5 points tonight. 6 now, all this half. But it's not going to matter. With 1:20 left, it's a 23-point Arkansas lead. Here's Robinson. Had it partially blocked by Vaughn. Outlet to Garner.
Always trying to make the spectacular play around the back as David Vaughn with the deuce.
And Vaughn, who forced the steal, got down court so quickly that he was able to go up to the shot.
David Vaughn came out with a class that featured Glenn Robinson, the big star down at Purdue, Chris Webber, James Forrest, Alan Henderson, who had a big game the other night against Notre Dame and against Kentucky out of Indiana. And he's right there in that mold. The senior class this year, Brad, if you want to look at the top 5 seniors, very weak senior class. You got Grant Hill, Eric Montross, and then really after that, for the NBA draft, you're talking about guys like Billy McCaffrey, Carlos Rogers, who's an outstanding player at Tennessee State, Aaron McKee. Not a very deep class, and that's why I think a lot of guys are going to come out early.
Martin pulls it up. Oh, Wilson with a foul.
Lee Wilson and Darnell Robinson, stars of the future.
Under a minute, but still a chance you'll see number 1 score 100 points before this one's over because they've got the rebound.
You're not getting a second shot. So he has to develop a little bit more skill how to outlet the ball.
Got another rebound and threw it away twice. Newsom finally gets it to go.
They got to work on him making that West Unseld outlet pass over the head at 6'11".
Yeah, you don't want to waste that height by being all bent over.
Yeah, he brings it down. He neutralizes himself.
And the push foul is going to be on Elmer Martin, apparently. Offensive foul. Sports Center coming up next, 28.9 seconds from now. 95-75, Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale with you from the Pyramid in Memphis, where the home team put up a heck of a fight for a half, but top-ranked Arkansas showed its wares here in the last 20 minutes.
Beautiful facility. Also, Nola Richardson, very smart. He comes up here for 3 games in his facility because he wants to keep his team a hotbed in this city in terms of recruiting.
Plays Ole Miss here February 19th, and then the SEC tournament's here the second week of March. Newsom, nice drive. And the possession arrow is going to go for the Razorbacks.
It's been a lot of fun, though, watching both teams practice. Good athletes. We look at the top 5 right now. Arkansas, Carolina, Michigan, Duke, and Temple. Arkansas really is legitimate. So is Carolina, despite their loss to Massachusetts. Very deep.
And if you look at Arkansas' schedule, they should stay there for quite some time because they don't have the toughest schedule until they hit the SEC in January.
They got that big game with Kentucky. Only play them once on February 9th, and that'll be on ESPN2. I said it the other day. I don't have ESPN2 at home, and I got to get it. I got to get it. I got to get my cable people put it in. I want to see Kentucky and
I thought you had
Arkansas.
everything in that place of yours. The Vitale Palace.
I don't know about a palace.
Sports Center's coming up next. These guys know it. The Hogs are about ready to bury the Tigers in the tomb.
He's got to stay on the line right now. He's walking on the line. See, why is he giving him a high five? I wouldn't give him a handshake there.
Yeah, he missed it.
Threw a brick.
That's right.
He threw a brick. Come on, Darnell.
Darnell, 10 points, so he had a tremendous first half. That's his first point of the second half. And we're down to the final seconds. Wimmer puts up a three. Got it.
That's the book on Justin Wimmer. Trifecta man.
Martin at the buzzer. Short. But Arkansas certainly wasn't short tonight. They were up by only 2 at halftime, but they showed their number 1.
Well, their tremendous depth, their defense, outstanding coaching job by Nolan Richardson, and so many weapons offensively. They are legitimately number 1.
For Dick Vitale and our ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler. Thanks for being with us from Memphis, where Arkansas rolls 96-78 as we take it to Sports Center.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of NCAA basketball has been brought to you by the New Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, and by Savan, the original 100% cotton, no wrinkle pants.